Y&R Spoilers reveal the daring plans of Phyllis Summers, a woman who is always ready to take on any challenge, not afraid to step into dangerous games. But this time, things seem different. When she decides to get Dumas' phone number from Billy's phone, she knows she is entering dangerous territory. Dumas, who from his first appearance left an impression of being cold, ruthless, and fearless. In the world of power and intrigue in Genoa City, Phyllis knows that every decision she makes will have unpredictable consequences. Phyllis has always been an unpredictable character. She knows how to handle difficult situations and always finds a way to use them to her advantage. But this time, she is not only dealing with complicated family relationships or business wars, but also facing a deadly threat. Dumas is not the type to sit down and have a casual chat. He was a man capable of destroying everything, even resorting to violence if necessary. And Phyllis, although confident in her abilities, knew deep down that this time, she might have gone too far. When Phyllis decided to meet Dumas, it was not just a casual meeting. She wanted to meet him not only for personal reasons but also to probe his connections and possibly to extract information that could help her in her larger plans. However, she also knew that with Dumas, every action could lead to serious consequences. A meeting could turn into an attack, and Phyllis could not help but worry about that. Meanwhile, Dumas was not someone who could be easily manipulated. With the nature of a cold-blooded person, Dumas knew that he did not need to show weakness or show mercy to anyone. In his eyes, Phyllis was just a pawn in the game of power that he was playing. Every conversation, every relationship, is just a piece in his larger game. And if Phyllis thinks she can control the situation, she may face unforeseen consequences. Now, in a dark and tense space, Phyllis is faced with a terrifying truth. Will she be calm enough to deal with the unexpected situations that Dumas can bring, or will she be drawn into the vortex of a revenge plan she cannot foresee? Dumas is not simply a dangerous character, he is a strategist. If Dumas decides to bribe Phyllis and use her as a card to threaten Victor Newman, one of the most powerful men in Genoa City, everything will change. Dumas knows that to get close to Victor, he needs to know how to build relationships skillfully, and Phyllis, with all her connections in the city's elite, is easy prey. She knew the secrets of the Newman family, and Dumas knew that if he could manipulate her, he would have a powerful weapon in his hands. Phyllis, while not easily intimidated, could not deny that the situation was too dangerous. If Dumas could use her to intimidate Victor, Victor's plans could fall apart completely. This could put Phyllis in a situation where she could not escape, as she realized that she had become part of a conspiracy that she could not control. She would have to ask herself, could she resist Dumas' manipulation without harming herself and those around her? When Phyllis went to see Dumas, the atmosphere around them was tense and heavy. Dumas greeted her with a cold, emotionless face, but his eyes could not hide the calculation. He knew that Phyllis was lost in his game, and this was his chance to overwhelm her. Phyllis enters the room to meet Dumas with a nervous but confident mind. She knows that she can turn the situation around, but when facing Dumas, she can't help but feel a little scared. Can she escape his control, or will she become part of Dumas's dangerous plan? Dumas, ruthless and cunning by nature, quickly realizes that Phyllis can become a useful pawn in his game. If he can convince her to work for him, he will be able to approach Victor without any obstacles. But Phyllis is not someone who is easily fooled. She will face a difficult choice. Will she risk working with Dumas to defeat Victor, or will she stand her ground and protect her family, regardless of the consequences? This situation is more than just a meeting between two scheming people. It is a turning point in Phyllis's life, a trial she could not have foreseen. Her decision will affect not only herself, but everyone she loves and trusts. And as Dumas continues to drag her into this spiral, Phyllis knows her life will never be the same again. Although she has no idea where this encounter will lead, Phyllis knows that once she enters this game, she will face difficult decisions and potential dangers. Can she win this game, or will she fall prey to Dumas? Phyllis Summers, one of the most complex and cunning characters in the world of the young and the restless, has once again put her fate on the line. The fiery redhead is not one to be trifled with. But this time, her decision could send Genoa City into a tailspin. When Phyllis learns that Billy Abbott, the man with whom she once had a complicated relationship, is plotting against Victor Newman, one of the city's most dangerous and cunning rivals, she makes a decision that will surprise many. Not only did she keep quiet, she chose to provide Victor with important, game-changing intelligence. This was not only an act of betrayal against Billy, but also a very bold move, because she was not simply giving information to Victor, but also playing a dangerous game between powerful forces. Billy, with whom Phyllis had shared many sweet and painful moments, was now the subject of the power game that Phyllis was participating in. He was not only a companion in her plans, but also a pawn in the game that Phyllis was playing. She decided to provide information about Billy's secret plot involving Aristotle Dumas, a mysterious billionaire, with the aim of disrupting the rivalry between Newman and Dumas. This move not only made everyone doubt Phyllis's loyalty, but also gave Victor, who had always been at the top of sophisticated conspiracies, the opportunity to carry out his revenge plan. And you can be sure that Victor Newman is not the type to ignore this intelligence. With what Phyllis has to offer, he will waste no time in formulating a devastating plan, not only to eliminate Billy but also to harm everyone in his path. Victor may have had a grudge against Billy, but the information Phyllis has provided could create an untenable situation for Adam Newman, who is now facing a war he could not have foreseen. Phyllis, always a character who loves excitement and bloody battles, knows that this action will put her in a very dangerous situation. However, she does not stop at providing information to Victor but also directly contacts Aristotle Dumas, a man whose movements are few and far between. Dumas is an unpredictable character, and Phyllis, with her smart and bold thinking, is ready to face danger to discover the secrets he is hiding. Phyllis is not someone who is easily pressured. She knows that every decision has its price, and this time, she is not only fighting for her own benefit but also to protect the people she loves, especially Daniel Romalotti, the son she has always loved and cared for. However, is Phyllis really acting for Daniel's protection, or does she simply want to see Billy's plot collapse and disappear into ashes? When Phyllis decides to confront Billy by revealing information about his plan, she pushes things into a corner from which there is no turning back. Billy, with his strong character and relentless progress, is not someone who gives up easily. However, when he realizes that Phyllis has betrayed him, things could get a lot worse. Not only will Billy face betrayal from the woman he once loved, but he will also face unforeseen consequences for plotting against Victor Newman. Victor, no one can doubt, will never waste an opportunity. Phyllis has given him a golden opportunity for revenge, and with this information in hand, he will not hesitate to exploit anything to achieve his goals. Dumas, whose true motives are unknown, will be a key factor in this plan. Phyllis not only is in contact with Dumas, but she is also embarrassing everyone by playing a game so big that even she cannot fully understand the consequences. As Phyllis enters this game, she not only risks being discovered, but also confronts those with whom she has built relationships. She has chosen this path for a reason. Is it her love for Daniel, or is it the joy of watching plans she cannot accept collapse? Whatever the reason, the redhead is caught between two dangerous choices, and the decisions she makes will affect not only herself, but those around her. As intrigue and betrayal intertwine, the characters in this story will face greater challenges than ever before. Phyllis is playing a game of no return, and as the pieces of this conspiracy are revealed, fireworks are inevitable. Can Phyllis win this game, or will she be caught up in the consequences of her own making? All the answers will be revealed in the next episodes, when Billy and Victor's plots and Phyllis's bold decisions will create unexpected storms in Genoa City. Revenge strategies are never simple, and for Victor Newman, one of Genoa City's most powerful players, revenge is an art. Known for his forgiveness, but also for his decisiveness in life-or-death situations, Victor always knows how to turn any bad situation into his opportunity. In the fourth episode, when Victor discovers Billy Abbott's dark plot, he immediately embarks on a brutal revenge plan, not only to teach Billy a lesson, but also to warn others who dare to cross his limits. Billy Abbott, a complex man, is always caught between two choices. One is to follow what he believes in, the other is to play along with the power game that people like Victor are running. And this time, Billy makes the wrong decision when he tries to drag Aristotle Dumas into a plot against Victor. Although Billy wants to keep his hands clean, the reality is completely different. He is trying to use dirty tricks to deal with one of the most powerful men in Genoa City, not realizing that Victor's revenge is a monster that he himself cannot control. Victor's response to this plot is a combination of calm and ruthlessness. He is never in a hurry, but every step he takes is carefully calculated, and this time, he decides to involve his son, Adam Newman, in this revenge plan. Adam, despite having a troubled relationship with his father, is the one Victor can trust to drag Billy's reputation into the mud. Through Newman Media, Adam will easily access the media and start a smear campaign against Billy Abbott. But the truth is, Adam is in a difficult position. He had previously promised Chelsea Lawson that he would not participate in these revenge plans anymore, especially when they involve going against his father. However, for Victor, nothing is impossible as he can manipulate everything, including his son's promises. The separation between Adam and Victor, despite being father and son, still cannot stop Victor from carrying out his revenge plan. Whether Adam wants to disobey his father or not, he will still force him to participate in this game, because Victor Newman never accepts refusal, especially when revenge is within reach. Adam, who has experienced countless internal battles and complicated relationships with his family, will now face a greater challenge than ever. Can he stand up against Victor's imposition, or will he once again be drawn into his father's plot? Meanwhile, Billy Abbott, with his resilient nature, is not someone who easily accepts defeat. When he learns that Victor is using all his resources to bring him down, anxiety begins to creep into his mind. Billy knows that if he doesn't react in time, his reputation and career will be ruined. However, Victor's plan won't be as simple as punching Billy in the face. Victor may be a master of strategy, but Billy, with his intelligence and resourcefulness, can still find a way to deal with this situation. Can Billy find a way out of the trap that Victor and Adam have set, or will he be crushed in this fight? Things are now more tense than ever. Phyllis Summers, who always knows how to stand in the middle of big conspiracies, has once again proven that she can be an important piece in this game. Although she betrayed Billy and provided intelligence to Victor, she herself is caught in a war that she cannot control. Phyllis not only faces the risk of being discovered, but also has to live with the consequences of the decisions she has made. Will Phyllis be able to defend herself, or will she be drawn into Victor Newman's relentless revenge? Meanwhile, other characters in the story, such as Chelsea and those close to Billy, are also facing difficult choices. What will Chelsea, who has always tried to stand her ground, do when she learns that Adam has joined Victor's plot? Will her love and loyalty to Billy help her stand firm, or will she be dragged into a quagmire from which she cannot escape? This story is not simply about Victor's revenge on Billy, but also about the inner conflicts of the main characters. Adam, despite being Victor's son, cannot avoid internal conflicts. He is in the middle of a war not only against his father, but also against the very values he has built. Adam promised Chelsea that he would not get involved in these bloody games, but when Victor plans revenge, can Adam keep his promise, or will he be drawn into the temptations of power that his father has worked so hard to build? Things will only get more complicated as each character in the story faces important decisions. Will Billy be able to stand firm against Victor and Adam, or will he become a pawn in a game he cannot control? And will forgiveness, Victor's trademark, save anyone in this war, or will it only make things worse? All will be revealed in the upcoming episodes of The Young and the Restless, as each character faces inevitable truths, and the power struggle becomes more intense than ever.